Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's been a while, needless to say. I have undergone various transitional periods in my very own ascent. These transitional periods have been gradually aided by the help of many demonic denions, such as Azazel, Belial, but these were ignited and these were mainly caused by the exiled beasts. Some of you may or may not be aware of my workings with them. If not, I implore you to go and check that out. These acausal behemoths, these abominations, these beings beyond our existence, not just beyond the physical existence, beyond spiritual existence itself. It exists outside of existence, untouched by divine providence. The word acausal is used a lot, and I guess that's one word we could use to describe them, but their majesty and their grace, not even their grace, their very nature is beyond acausality. However, I wanted to come back here with a gift. You guys have been waiting very patiently, and I do appreciate it. After all, my entire life has been transformed. I have been transformed. The life that I had, I no longer have. I was a married man, a devoted father, this, that, and so many different things, and I had a friendship group, and I lived a certain way. Now it's all changed. It's all changed. It's all a necessity. When you are willing to go deep into the mysteries, and when you are willing to place it all on the altar, your life changes entirely. But believe me, I have found much greater on the other side. I have found a new stage of spiritual evolution, a new state of being, and really happiness. All in all, contentment, completion, a new becoming. It is a process, but I'm not here for that. I'm not here to explain what I've been, what's been happening. That's just a little update. What gift have I brought you guys? Well, you've been patient, so I'm going to give you the gift that these beasts gave me. This, my friends, is what's known as the Seal of the Antiverse. This is printed on a particular type of material, so it's reflecting the light here. This, my friends, is the Seal of the Antiverse. This is by far the most powerful, the most useful, and the most beneficial spiritual and magical piece of technology I have ever used. Let me explain. My workings with the Antiverse and involving the exiled beasts of the Antiverse, I came to understand that a lot of my magic was flawed. I'm going to be honest, I thought I was the dog's bollocks. I thought I was great at it. I thought that there was no further I could push my skills and no further that I could improve or develop. That's the ego. It's the identity. These beings were touching on the concept of sigil magic, seals and talismans. And they often view our reality and the sorcerers, the magi's and the magicians in our reality, and they often scoff. They scoff at our practices because they believe it's restrictive, they believe it's limited. Think about the very concepts of magical seals. I'm not talking about the codification of your desire and intention via sigil magic. I'm not talking about the statement of intent which you reorganize into a seal or sigil. I'm talking about seals, sigils, talismans, gateways of power and magic and energy, which you utilize in your very own sorcery. Like the Solomonic seals that connect to the planetary bodies. There are several different Solomonic seals for one planetary body to work with different aspects, to channel different forces, or differ just slightly in function. This, however, does not. This, my friends, is the universal seal. It is the universal gateway. It is universal because of its application, and it is universal because of its function. This is like the astral matrix embedded into the seal is extremely complex, filled with interdimensional tunnels and transdimensional rifts, filled with different filters. It has almost got sentience. The very astral matrix itself almost has sentience. The seal is almost alive and can teach you how to better use it. So essentially, this taps into what's known as the source code. The source code. What is source? It is from where all things come from. The distillation of the source code, the ocean of river, light, and sound that distills into the lower worlds, creates reality. For creation isn't something that happened in the far distant past. It is a continual process. Creation is still happening now, and it still distills its essence into the lower realms. This allows you to tap into the source code, as well as the antiversal source, the dark singularity. Essentially, it allows you to not only tap into the source code, but to tap into the variations of existence. That means you can tap into any single thing, any force, energy, power, and source. Let's say you don't have a specific herb or specific oil, but you need it. You really need it. Let's say you don't have a specific crystal or a specific mineral, but you really need it. You need its energy to, let's say, create an oil, or create an elixir, or create some type of sorceress and magical concoction. You can open this as a tunnel, as a gateway to that herb, to that mineral, to the very source of its energy. The sacred geometry in the lines, in the symmetry, will begin to glow. It will begin to resonate and glow with the energy of that which you are calling. It will capture it and harness the required and desired force. The seal is very powerful because you can also program it. You can program it with an intention. It embeds a codification into that power, into that energy, or into that force which you've called through this talisman. And here's the kicker, is this not only allows you to connect to and call or summon or harness any force or energy or power in existence, in physical existence, but in the astral, and in the causal plane, and in the mental plane, and in the abyss, all the way up to source itself, even the antiversal forces. So let's say you want to harness the powers of protection. You can call upon the protective powers of elements, or the protective powers of planets, or the protective powers in the astral plane of which you're aware of, or protective power of specific heralds and gods. And this will act as a universal gateway, channeling and harnessing their power therein. And you can wear it. You can wear the seal. You can get it tattooed on you. You can turn it into a piece of jewelry. You can carry the seal in your wallet. You can carry the seal in your pocket. You can hang it up in the temple, and it will emanate continuously those powers of protection, or defense, or spiritual reflection. What about the fact that you may be interested in working with an entity, but do not have its sigil? And so you utilize this seal, the universal talisman, and you begin calling its name. And this becomes the focal point, the gateway through which you can commune with it. Another function of this gateway, of course, is, another function, it's limitless in terms of function. It's limitless in terms of its capabilities. There is nothing you cannot do with this. And that is why this is such a gift. I will never use a seal like I use this. I will never use a sigil like I use this. I will never use a talisman like I will use this one. This can tap into anything, any force. It is the true interdimensional gateway. It is almost like a spiritual or metaphysical AI that not can only harness or pull from any power or force and contain it within itself, but will also codify it to perform any function that you desire. I've experimented with this in radionics. I have 2 radionic boxes which are running different operations and usually have energies which run contrary to each other. And so I will use this to trap the energies in it and ensure that these contradictory energies work harmoniously. How? Because I begin to evoke or call forth or draw the very powers of spiritual unification and balance and harmony, calling forth the very spiritual essence of the principle of harmony within it, and emanating that spiritual harmony into the operation to ensure those energies work harmoniously. Let's say you want to empower yourself. You can call on any single power, any single force that you require through this seal, through this talisman. Let's say you are dealing with an imposter, a parasite. You can create a massive version of this, okay, and you can place it on the ground and use it as a triangular manifestation, upon which you'll see the triangular aspects right here. There's the light here, so it's kind of difficult, and you could place on the triangular aspects each black candle, and you could activate it. You could activate it and visualize and call forth the gravitational force of stars or black holes, things in our physical universe, not just spiritual forces. And you can use that gravitational manifestation to trap an entity in a space, and then you can codify or program that seal to trap it. This is Limitless. You can use this for money magic, love magic, healing, glamour, seduction, empowerment, baneful magic, protection. You can use it for consecration, radionics, necromancy. You can use it with any path, any pantheon. When I say this is universal, I don't only mean in terms of application, and I don't only mean in terms of practices. I mean it's universal with all different systems of magic. Yes, this does come from the Antiverse. Yes, this does come from the system of the beast. I have used this with angels, demons, and elementals. I even used it with a few shades of the dead. This is Limitless in terms of its application. So you may be asking, well, Connor, how do you use this thing? How do you apply it? Firstly, you're going to need the skills to be able to have worked with seals and sigils before in the past. So you have to know how to scrying, activating that scrying site, and being in that trance state. Okay, you have to learn how to open and activate sigils. If you know how to do that, we've run over this before. If you know how to do this, and you're able to enter into that state necessary to activate that sigil, then you can follow along with me right now. So what I'm going to do here is, to be honest, I haven't prepared nothing. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to prepare nothing. So here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to take, right here, simple white candle, okay? This is an old spell candle of mine, okay? Now, let's say I want to reuse that candle. Say I want to reuse it. How do I reuse it? I need to cleanse it. What seal am I going to use for that? What sigil am I going to use for that? So I'm going to pull a sigil out to cleanse it and banish it, and then pull another sigil out or something else to imbue it with a certain energy or a certain power. Now let's use multifunction, shall we? Let's use multifunction. One of us. Okay? Now there is a song that is required to activate this sigil. It is known as the Song of Exhalation. It is also called the tune or the Song of the Antiverse. So it requires a chant to activate it. Okay? Now I'm going to begin gazing into the seal, gazing into the sigil. I'm going to focus on my breath now. I'm going to place my fingers here just so I can begin to connect to it. Feeling the energy of myself flowing down my shoulder blades, down my elbows and out of my hands, through the middle and index finger into the seal. And as I'm gazing, of course I am scrying into the sigil, activating it like I would any other sigil. As I do this, I'm going to focus on my intention. I want to summon forth the powers of spiritual purification. I want to call forth the powers conducive and convenient for spiritual channeling. I'm locking that in my mind as I'm gazing into the sigil. As I'm doing this, as I'm breathing, I'm going to allow my energy to keep funneling into it. See, the energy doesn't just flow out of your hands when you're doing this. It flows out of your eyes as beams of spiritual reception. And of course, the third eye, I envision a ray, an indigo ray. As I do this, I'm allowing myself to move with the energies. I'm gonna begin to chant that song to activate it now. Narisha Vakuva Sha Ramta 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 Narisha Vakuva Sha Ramta Ramta Ramta. And already the seal is flashing and activated. This is a universal gate now, and it's beginning to charge up with my intention. And I'm visualizing in my mind fire, the element of fire. I'm hearing its burning, feeling its essence. And internally, I am focusing on gravitating the power of that element into the lines of this sigil. I am focusing on salt, and I'm envisioning salt on cliffs and rocks and stones, and its natural capabilities to cleanse and purify now. I'm envisioning also the angel Sakatos, the cleansing angel. Now I'm going to say my statement of codification. This is the important part. I summon forth through the seal of the Antiverse all powers, forces, and energies responsible for spiritual purification and cleansing now. Awaken, awaken, and come, come, come. And already I can begin to see the lines coursing with a bright bluish energy. It is flashing before my vision. With this seal, I place it on this candle to cleanse it of all impurities and to cleanse it of all negativity and toxicity. I shall cleanse the physical, the spiritual, and the energetic integrity of this candle now. I seal this calling upon you. And honestly, my friends, it is simple as that. You can place not only objects on there to cleanse, but objects on there to imbue with a certain energy. Now you notice that I didn't pick one specific thing, because the force that is responsible for spiritual healing, it's a force in and of itself. There are various things associated to that force. So you can picture the planetary embodiment, you can picture the element, you can picture entities which may rule over it. You're using these mental imagery to connect to the force as if they were masks or as if they were aspects of that force. So if you're activating it for wealth, you would see coins, dollars, gold, euros, yens. You would see the planet of Jupiter to bring forth prosperity and wealth. You may even see gods associated to wealth. You may think about elements such as earth, which are associated to wealth. If you're activating it for the process of seduction, very much the same. And inside here, inside the astral matrix, I said it's very complex. It's almost sentient. And believe me, you can even communicate with the seal itself to learn on how to activate and use it. I personally have understood that it has filters built therein. If you know somebody who is cursed, you can activate this to absorb the curse, to absorb the negative energy. If you yourself are performing, let's say, vampirism, and you're vampirizing somebody with your right hand, or you're pulling it into you, you can filter the energy and purify their impure energies through that seal. You can use it to baneful magic. I mean, like I said, the ability for this are endless. It is a universal gateway which taps into any power, energy, or force, and you can codify it as well as program it, and you can use it however you desire. Yes, I've only given you one explanation. What am I going to do? Sit here for 3-4 hours and many different ways that you can use it? No. But you will see more videos coming out soon about how I use this seal in my own practices and the various different ways that I use it. If you would like to see that, you're more than welcome. Like this video for more information on this seal. Like this video to see future content of me using it. Hey, take this seal. Take what I've explained here. How to activate it. How to call forth any energy that you want. Use it. Experiment with it. Take it in directions that I may have not taken it before. And share with us your experiences. This is a gift that I give to you guys. The image is posted also on my Facebook page, which you may now check out, and also on my Instagram page. That way you can print it out yourself and you can begin using this, or if you wish you could also draw it. It is entirely up to you. Make sure that it is symmetrical and make sure that it is proportionate. That is the main thing when it comes to utilizing this seal. I'm not going to lie, there are also downsides to this seal. What are the downsides? It's dangerous. Why is it dangerous, however? It's dangerous because of what you can do with it, because there's no end to it. It is only dangerous if you make it dangerous. So understand that what you're utilizing here is a power unlike any other. It is a magical technology unlike anything else I have ever described, or ever discovered, or ever seen. This is the most powerful magical seal I have ever used. And for your patience, for me returning, this is my gift to you. Harness the powers of all of creation and non-existence, codify them and program to do your bidding through this one seal. Infinite blessings to each and every one of you, and I'll speak to you again